This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News9, English news as it should be.
Hello and a very warm welcome. Thanks for tuning in to your favorite news destination. You're watching In Your Interest with me, Kabir Naqvi, and on the show tonight, we're turning the spotlight on a silent killer, that too in our homes, in all of our homes. Air conditioners, that's right. A groundbreaking report from iFOREST paints a grim picture that India's air conditioner emissions now rival those from vehicles and cars, and they're set to double by the year 2035 in the next 10 years. Now, the report is based on a nationwide survey across 7 cities, which reveals that India's cooling challenge is no longer a luxury issue. It's a climate emergency. Take a look at this. Globally, air conditioners guzzle 7% of the world's electricity and contribute 3.2% to total greenhouse gas emissions. By 2050, that could skyrocket to 10%. But in India, the story is even starker. The report, titled Climate Cost of Air Conditioning, warns that refrigerants used in these air conditioners, gases that actually keep us cool, have a global warming potential 675 times that of carbon dioxide. Sadly, 40% of ACs in India are refilled every year, compared to a global norm of once every 5 years. And this rampant refrigerant leakage contributes massively to climate change whilst draining our wallets as well. Our AC emissions have caught up to cars. In 2024, air conditioners spewed 156 million tons of carbon dioxide, equivalent. Edging out cars is 147 million tons from 2023. Your AC might be emitting more than your car. And that's not all. India's air conditioner stock is exploding from 76 million units in 2025 to a whopping 245 million units by 2035, tripling in just a decade's time. That's fueled by 15 to 20% annual sales growth since 2020. As more households try to beat the heat and then beat it, emissions from ACs are projected to double by 2035. The total emissions from air conditioner electricity and its use is roughly 202 million tons of CO2 annually, which is equivalent to the carbon absorption capacity of 27 million trees together. Second, the menace caused by adding gas to your AC unit. A standard 1.5 ton air conditioner holds 2 kg of gas. That is equivalent to driving a petrol car 7,000 kilometers in emissions. And this booming demand isn't without its consequence. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change latest AR6 report confirms climate change, driven by human emissions, is intensifying extreme weather. From heavier rains, abnormal precipitation, to worsening droughts, India faces a double-edged sword. More heat drives AC use, but AC emissions worsen heat and weather extremes. Comfort today could mean catastrophe tomorrow, and not just for you and I, but for the entire world. Which is why an informed panel with us, like always on In Your Interest. And the big question that we're trying to decode on the show: is the AC boom fueling a climate bust? And can green tech and policy interventions cool without killing the climate? Take a look at this. Joining us here on the broadcast, Chandra Bhushan, President and CEO, iFOREST. Surely, in just about minutes from now, Shaurya Anand, Assistant Fellow, Climate Division at TERI, is also going to be with us. Avinash Mohanty, Global Sector Head, Climate Change and Sustainability, IPE Global, also with us. But let's get the ball rolling, Mr. Bhushan. You know, your iFOREST report, it says that India's AC emissions today equal emissions from all cars on the road. I was just stuck in a traffic jam, and I can understand how catastrophic this could be in about 10 years' time. That's a shocking comparison. How did the report get to this comparison? what really are, the hardline details that one has to follow, because nobody can peruse through a full-fledged report. If we were to put it out in the common man's domain, let's simplify it for the user. What does this tell us about where India's cooling demand is headed, and can we even meet it?
So you must understand that we now have reasonably good data on number of ACs that is being installed in the country. Last year, for example, in 2024, about 14 million new ACs were sold in the country. This year, the growth rate might be 10%, which is disappointing for the industry, but that will mean about 15 million more ACs being added in the households. So post-COVID, there has been an exponential increase in air conditioning because of multiple factors. Heat wave is certainly one of the most important factors, but you also have rising affordability, which is good for the country. We want our people to have money, better life, urbanization. So a combination of urbanization, rising affordability, and most importantly, heat wave is fueling air conditioning demand. Simply because people find air conditioning as an easy solution, a plug-and-play solution, while there are other solutions which is not being promoted in the market. So the first point I want to make is there are alternatives to air conditioning which we need to put out, which will have lower environmental and climate impact than RAC, room air conditioners that we install. So we have reasonably good idea of number of ACs. The survey we did, which is a nationwide survey and first of its kind, was to go to 7 cities, 7 hot and humid cities of India, from Kolkata to Mumbai and from Delhi to Chennai, to understand how people are using and maintaining their air conditioners. It's a solid piece of work. A stratified sampling method was used, and we surveyed different economic groups. There's some interesting findings. Number one is that, sorry, you want to...
No, go ahead. The interesting findings. We're all waiting for that, Mr. Bhushan.
Some very interesting finding. Number one, that the general assumption that people with AC owning households have multiple ACs is not true. 87% of AC owning household have just one air conditioning, which means that AC is no more a privilege of wealthy, but a necessity of middle class and lower middle class. So one, that air conditioning ownership is now expanding to every strata of the society. Number two, which we found was that, again, contrary to popular perception that people keep their air conditioning at a very low temperature is not true. Indians are extremely conscious about energy. So they are buying energy efficient AC, as well as they are keeping their thermostat at, say, about on an average between 22 to 26 degrees. So on energy efficiency, the awareness is very good and high. But on refrigerant, the awareness is very poor. People do not know the climatic impact of refrigerants. They do not know why their AC needs to be refilled so frequently. In fact, in city like Delhi, 50% of ACs are refilled every year. It means effectively, every AC is filled twice a year, whereas there shouldn't be any need to refill an air conditioner even in 5 years. So there is a refilling.
Why is it, Mr. Bhushan? Why is it so? Why are we getting our refrigerant and the gas refilled sometimes twice a year? Why is that?
Multiple factors. One is quality of air conditioning and installation. Number two is quality of servicing personnel. Number three is lower awareness of consumer whether their AC needs to be refilled or not. Okay, so a combination of factor, and number four, no one is responsible. Your AC
How does one really know? How does one really know? That's a great point that you've raised over here. And just to mention that Avinash Mohanty, Global Sector Head, Climate Change and Sustainability, CCS, IPE Global, also with us on the broadcast. But Mr. Bhushan, my question to you, and that follow-up, because, if an AC service guy comes to my house and tells me, look, boss, you need to get your gas refilled, I'm not questioning that person. I'm not going to open that gas can and look at it, how full it is, how empty it is. I'm just going to go ahead and say, okay, bhaiya, kitna time lagega? And can you just get it done and get it over with? And today, whilst reading your report, I realized, and this is for the viewers as well, every time you get your gas refilled, it has to first expend whatever is inside, that particular chamber. That particular refrigerant is absolutely harmful, 675 times more harmful than CO2 emissions. That is released into the atmosphere, and then only can you refill it right up on top. So let's quickly make the viewers aware about how they should know and when they should know if they need a gas, refilling or not?
So we have a very peculiar AC servicing habit in this country. Our habit is that when our AC stops working, we call servicing person.
Yep.
Okay. We do not we get our car serviced every few months, right? Every 6 months. But we don't get our AC serviced regularly. The fact is, the amount of money we spend in energy consumption and refilling of AC is not less.
Yep.
So our servicing, we only call them when our AC stops working. Okay. Second, if the service person comes and says that gas filling ki zarurat nahi hai, you don't need to refill the gas.
Too good to be true, Mr. Bhushan. I've never encountered any AC service person who comes and says your AC is good to go. It just never happens.
That's what Kabir, what I'm saying is that therefore, if the AC person comes and says ki AC, your gas refilling is not required, we are very reluctant to pay. So they have found a way to say gas refilling is also required, so you pay me. Okay. So there is, it's a chicken and egg story. Okay.
Yep.
How we do it, servicing done, incentive for the servicing person, and the most important thing is who is responsible. Our car manufacturers are responsible for catalytic converter, by the way. Okay. The pollution coming from the car, there's warranty given by car manufacturer that the amount of pollution that will happen will be below this standard. There is no responsibility on AC seller and manufacturer for anything other than compressor. They're not responsible for refrigerant.
Well, so that needs to change. That needs to change. If we're talking about regulation, if we're talking about accountability, we need some collar to grab. And that's the Indian way of going about it. We need some collar to grab by the end of it. Let's bring in Avinash Mohanty, Global Sector Head, Climate Change and Sustainability, CCS, IPE Global. Mr. Mohanty, globally, air conditioners account for 7% of electricity use and 3.2% of greenhouse gas emissions. The iFOREST report helping the entire multitude out. If people do peruse through it, I would urge all the viewers right now to definitely go through it to get a better understanding of what Mr. Bhushan here is talking about. But if India, Mr. Mohanty, if India triples its AC stock by 2035, how much will it add to the global warming challenge that we're already looking at? Look at the abnormal precipitation in the last couple of months, glacial hanging lakes and, cloudbursts coming one after the other. It's raining in one part of the world. It's absolutely dry in the other. Where are we headed essentially?
Good evening, Kabir, and thank you so much for again having such intense conversations. First of all, congratulations to Chandra for putting out such an exhaustive, first of its kind primary survey out there. And that's very, very important. Let me just put down again numbers into perspective. You asked me a very difficult question. How much of global warming is going to happen? I would rather break down this question into what we are facing today. 0.7 degree rise, all of the world, and Chandra and we all always stumble across the COP negotiations. 1.5 degrees, some sort of a benchmark that we have been discussing, right? Yep. In India, what has happened is 0.7 to 0.8 degree rise has happened in last from the base year 1900, and when we modeled out from our climate risk observatory tool that we have, we could find 85% of the Indian districts are extreme event hotspots, number one. Number two, what is important, and Chandra kind of touched upon when he was introducing this whole study, that India is becoming hotter and warmer, right? Yeah. By default, we are a hotter and warmer because we are a tropical country. And global south countries within the South Asian region, we have this temperature rising. But what is happening now is, within those 85%, 45% of those districts, 738 odd numbers of 45%, if you are looking at, then almost 50%, 350, 400 districts we are looking at, where traditional flood-prone areas are becoming drought-prone. Drought-prone areas are becoming flood-prone. That means the amount of rainfall that is happening is not actually happening over the monsoon season. What is happening is across 2-day, 3-day time span, and that is why you see all of these cloud bursts. There's incessant erratic rainfall events leading to some of the cities that Chandra's report, iFOREST report has been pointing out. All of them are those cities where the temperature is rising. That is why you have got higher ACs being used, and hence you also have a urban flooding problem. So it's a cascading, compounding problem that we are looking at, number one. Number two is how much of ACs. Now, let's also decode this. India is becoming economically aspirational. Tier 3 cities are striving to come down for better livelihood into tier 2 ones into tier 1, so on and so forth. The cycle is going and we are becoming highly urbanized. Now, for becoming urbanized, there is a cost that has to be paid. What is the cost? The first cost is our ecosystems. Now, what we have done as a process is, yes, we have been installing ACs. Our cars have got ACs. Our houses has got ACs. The survey that finds out also about how many ACs each family has. So some of these numbers are very, very mind-boggling numbers. Now, on top of it, it is also the marketing gimmick, right? Every season, what Chandra said, like 2 times in a year, you don't really need to refill it. Like, there is a hoax going on, not just with ACs, the similar kind of meta hoax. We learned person even fall into the trap is also with RO waters. So these are customary lifestyles that we have adopted without understanding the nuances, right?
Absolutely.
And I completely second with what Chandra said, that there are alternatives to cooling. Alternative solutions to cooling. You can have.
We will come to that. Mr. Mohanty. We will come to that. Let's also bring in, Shaurya Anand, Assistant Fellow, Climate Division at TERI. Let's bring him into the discussion as well. Really connect the iFOREST research with the practical implications. Households, Mr. Shaurya Anand, households are keeping ACs at 23 to 25% degrees Celsius. They understand what is the optimal use of that thermostat. Yet emissions are soaring. That's also something that the report points out. Does this mean that efficiency improvements in our air conditions are not in tandem with the actual pace of ownership growth? Because Mr. Bhushan also points out that people are more and more becoming, able to buy these. The affordability factor has also increased. So it's a necessity. It's also something that is affordable in today's time, and it's Diwali season. And the GST is also going to play its own number. Of course, people at those various warehouses are probably worried about selling them for, lesser price than what they had bought them for. But it's Diwali season, everybody's going to go and buy those air conditioners. So the improvement in efficiency of technology of air conditioner vis-a-vis the growth and the pace of ownership in India of air conditioners.
First of all, thank you for such wonderful conversation. This is the one of the best day possible because today is the World Ozone Day. And I congratulate Mr. Bhushan for such amazing and micro study report. What your question is asked is very, very important because energy efficiency improvement is happening. It is a dynamic and bureau of energy efficiency every 2 to 3 years bring the changes in your room air conditioners. But the major issue is that the consumer, who are primary buyers, they are not much aware about the energy efficiency aspects. So definitely there is a 5-star rating. But what major issue lies is that people usually buy oversized air conditioner for their room or undersized air conditioner for your room because there is a cooling demand required for a particular square feet of your room sizing area. So usually people are not aware on that side as well. People are also not aware about the global warming potential. They hardly look at the nameplate of your air conditioner, which mentions your refrigerant and its global warming potential. So awareness and connecting people more to the climatic impact of air conditioner is the first start where we should look after it. The industry is ready to innovate. The manufacturers are also very interested in going to the new refrigerants, the new compressors, new type of expansions valve for coming in the market. So they are adopting it. But again, the major questions lies on the consumers, whether they are well equipped, well informed. So we are trying in that direction. We are working with different government departments to bring some kind of a guidebook which will make consumer more powered, more aware.
It sounds all good. It sounds all good, Mr. Anand. It sounds really well, and on paper it would look even, great. And I'm sure you're all congratulating Mr. Bhushan because he's from your industry, he's from your fraternity, and he's done an impeccable job. But really, how many people will actually go through this report? And that's the idea of the show, to make most of the people go through this and understand. Because my awareness about air conditioner cooling is that R32, R22, whatever the name of that gas coolant is, should be fit in the right place. That's all that I know of. And I consider myself as one of those people who may be, more learned than the common man out there, more aware out there. So cooling demand is rising, but so is extreme weather events. Can India realistically, my follow-up to you, Mr. Anand, can India realistically leapfrog to cleaner cooling technologies? I mean, you're somebody who's an assistant fellow at the climate division at the Energy and Resource Institute. Can we do it, yes or no?
We can definitely do it, and we have done in the form of a very excellent refrigerant called R32, which we have transitioned to very well in the industry. It is a very medium level global warming potential refrigerant. And we have also adopted the variable compressor technology. This is a very energy efficient technology. And again, in terms of consumer awareness is the primary key here. And one more important aspect which we are primarily ignoring is the servicing sector, because the service technician will come to repair with air conditioner. If they are not well aware, well certified and well educated, the leaks will be happening and the emission will be happening. So that is one very important aspect which we have to look into it. That's why at the today's Ozone Day event by the Ministry of Environment, they emphasize more on the servicing sector as well, more training to the servicing sector, because the consumer which you are bringing the servicing technicians, he or she might not vent out the gas outside. So the leakage will be happening, the poor servicing will increase that. So even the energy equipment efficient air conditioner will cause the climate change problem. So servicing is a very important aspect as well.
Okay. Mr. Bhushan, everybody's talking about lack of awareness. Now I'm going to throw a two-pronged question towards you. Firstly, what systemic reforms would you yourself put on the priority list? Are we looking at LRM reforms and, sort of tightening them down? Are we looking at more incentives for people who have efficient air conditioners, but that would mean people coming into your house and doing a check? I don't know how you went through those 7 cities and did your own survey. It must have been a mammoth task. Or do you invest in alternative cooling solutions? Which are those? So that's one aspect of the question. The other one is, there is learning apathy. I mean, even in classrooms today, what is a learning outcome and what is an actual assessment? There's chalk and cheese from both of them. So let's educate the viewers. Let's tell them 3 awareness points that they should keep in mind when we're talking about maintaining efficiency of your air conditioners and hoping for a better future. So what are the priority list when it comes to systemically changing these reforms? And secondly, let's educate the viewers. 3 points that you think should, you can buttress home. Over to you, sir.
Kabir, I think it's a combination of all the above. First of all, the future of cooling is not going to be room air conditioners. You cannot air conditioners, the room air conditioners have now more or less reached the theoretical limit of efficiency. Okay. So even in some of the air conditioners, highly efficient air conditioners that are being sold in Japan and other places, we have reached a theoretical efficiency level for vapor compression technology, the technology that is almost 100 years old. Okay. So the future of cooling cannot be vapor compression technology. That is point number 1. I'm using a scientific term, but people who understand it will understand that technology have limits of improvement. And the current air conditioning technology has reached that limit. Now, if everyone in the world have that technology, then efficiency will not be sufficiency. The point that you made, is efficiency sufficient? The answer is no. In the current technology, efficiency is not going to be sufficient.
Okay.
We need to leapfrog to different technology, which is not vapor compression, which is, say, centralized district cooling technology with lower global warming potential gases. I mean to say, think about it, Kabir. Every house in Delhi now has a pipeline which brings you natural gas, right? Every pipe in your house can also bring you a cold water, which can be used to cool your house. Okay.
My goodness, Mr. Bhushan, I'm now thinking dig half of Delhi completely dug up because we're now laying new pipelines.
That is the future of technology, Kabir. That is the future of technology is not a room air conditioner on every window of your house.
Yep.
Okay. That will kill the climate, finish the climate, even with the most efficient technology. So that is the first point I want to make. Okay. That's not the future of cooling.
Let's exercise brevity, Mr. Bhushan. I'm completely running out of time. I'm going to give Mr. Mohanty one more say.
The priority, the short-term priority right now is India needs a very good regulation on life cycle of refrigerant. Companies will have to be made responsible for refilling, recovery, recycle of refrigerant. That's number one we need to do. I am very positive about consumers. I do not have, I think if we are able to provide them with information, consumers will be able to consume it. But
what about the price point, Mr. Bhushan? You're saying if this technological leapfrog is going to happen, then that means there's going to be an uptick.
It is going to be cheaper. The interesting thing, Kabir, is all the technologies are going to be cheaper than vapor compression technology. The only problem is we have a stranglehold of companies who have only invested in vapor compression technology.
So we need to there needs to be a big departure from this vapor compression technology is what I've learned. The picture that you've painted for us via this report is certainly grim, but it's come in good and happy time because we need to work upon it. It's high time we pull up our socks. Mr. Mohanty, I'm going to come to you for the last response. We talk about EVs for cars, but what's the equivalent breakthrough for ACs? Are we close to a disruptive innovation in this particular space? Mr. Bhushan has helped us with his inputs, so has Mr. Shaurya Anand. How do we wrap up this entire discussion, because let's give the viewers a little bit of a silver lining and a little bit of hope as well. Not all is lost. 2035 is not that far away and it still has a lot of time. We can work on it, and maybe 2035 numbers are different with the iFOREST report that Mr. Bhushan publishes in the year 2035. Let's hope for that.
Let's break 2035 into seasons and years, right? What is going to happen in next 2 years? Chandra spoke very highly about some of the emerging technologies. Now, one thing with technology that comes down everywhere is accessibility, affordability, and availability, right? These are the 3 A's you need to have for any technology. Today, what you cited, just an example of EV, was a distant affair 5 years before. And similarly with solar panels, it was almost a decade ago. We were only dreaming of having sun as our ray of hope. But never ray of energy, right? So technologies need to have that 3A component. And in order to do that, there are enough of those pilots. Now what we are talking about, and I second to what Chandra said, that our individual air conditioners within the rooms are not just the solution, but we also have to agree and get started in terms of this is not just a cooling or an energy problem. This is also a construction problem. Let's get down subsidies and cap and trade mechanisms in place in terms of building with sustainable cooling. Telangana has tried having those cool roof policy in place. Similarly, many of our traditional knowledge actually cites all of our straw kind of roofs that we had. We never had fans even in our villages, but we were able to scorchingly use and withstand those hot 40 degrees.
You're absolutely right. I still go back to my village and I'm not bothered whether there's an air conditioner or not. It's also in the mind. You're right, but you've painted, a grim picture because we need to act on it. This report is out there. Again, urging all the viewers to check out the iFOREST report. The AC emissions are as bad as the vehicular emissions on the road, and they're set to double by 2035. What more do you need? If you're not scared right now, when you turn on your air conditioner tonight, well, something's absolutely wrong. Let's leave it there. We're going to continue to talk about this. Ms. Chandrabhushan, Shaurya Anand, Avinash Mohanty, many thanks for joining us. And that's where we leave it tonight on In Your Interest. India's cooling crisis is no longer just about comfort. It's about survival now. Air conditioners may shield us from the rising heat, but they're also quietly stoking the fire of global warming. Food for thought. Many thanks for watching In Your Interest. Top developments right on the other side. Keep it with News9.
कहना चाह रहा था कि प्रोमिनेंस नहीं है, प्रोमिनेंस मतलब प्रोमिनेंस विंडोज, इसमें है हाईएस्ट वेदर रेजिस्टेंस और घर को रखे सेफ फ्रॉम टर्माइट, सीपेज, डस्ट एंड नॉइस। वुडन फिनिश से लेके कंटेम्परेरी कलर्स तक। प्रोमिनेंस फॉर द वर्ल्ड यू डिजर्व। विकी, कारा, मूव। हेड्स अप गाइस, बट कंपनी। Citroen Basalt, thrill me, style me.
Love is nothing without the thrill. Unlimit love. The B6 Pack 2 starts at 21.9 lakh. Mahindra Electric Origin SUVs.
अलौकिक, अद्भुत, अनुपम और भी ज्यादा भव्य होगा दुर्गोत्सव का जश्न। बेमिसाल 2 सीजन्स के बाद TV9 नेटवर्क एक बार फिर लेकर आ रहा है फेस्टिवल ऑफ इंडिया सीजन 3। फैशन और लाइफस्टाइल का ग्लोबल एग्जीबिशन फैमिली और फ्रेंड्स के साथ होगा एक्सोटिक फन। TV9 फेस्टिवल ऑफ इंडिया सीजन 3 का हिस्सा बने। 28 सितंबर से 2 अक्टूबर मेजर ध्यानचंद स्टेडियम, इंडिया गेट, नई दिल्ली।
Elegant styling meets adrenaline pumping performance. Drive a world of sporty sophistication with the all-electric VF7 from VinFast. India price starting at rupees 20.89 lakhs.
Breaking news. A major disruption is expected this week.